Yes, we are on this side so that our audience can still on. We are still here, we are still on. Kindly support us. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy. It requires a lot of effort, it requires a lot of sacrifice, and we are sacrificing for our audience. We have to sacrifice. Just sacrificing, audience can know whatever that is happening on the ground without fear today on 7th July 2025. Just about sacrifice. This is the current situation. We are still live. We are still live. We are still live. Bado tuko live. Tuko live. We are still live. Mambo bado ni live. Let's cross the road. We are still live. We are here, live. This is the current situation on roads. You can see the roads are very busy. The roads are very busy. Very busy. Kindly guys, support us. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy. We are here at the embassy. The embassy. This is the current situation on roads. You can see the roads are very busy. Just about risking. This is the current situation. The roads are very busy. Here is Thika Super Highway. Very early in the morning. This is the current situation here on roads. As you can see, the roads are intact. The roads are very busy. It means that people are out to work. This is how the roads look like today on 7th July 2027. Jam. There's a lot of jam over here. It's a lot of jam. There's a lot of jam over here. You can see this is jam. Roads are fully intact. Let's go to this side so that I can take to a wider angles. Guys, it's not easy to be live. It's not easy to do this. We humbly request for your support. That's what we are requesting for. We humbly request for your support. Support us. Kindly guys, support us. That's what we humbly.
Every year, we invest 100 million euros in packaging research and development to strengthen the sustainability profile of our packages. We also invested 42 million euros to support expanding carton collection, sorting, and recycling worldwide.
Mom, we're getting late.
Discover the new Venus Advanced Care Body Lotion, a revolutionary blend of serums and natural ingredients designed to transform your skin into a masterpiece of firmness, radiance, and youthfulness. Infused with hyaluronic acid serum, nature's ultimate moisturizer, Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Can know whatever that is happening here on crown. That's what we always do. That is what we will keep on doing without fearing anything. We are sacrificing our audience to know whatever that is happening on. The crown. Kindly. What we just need from our audience is just support. That's what we are praying for. We are headed to Allsops. We are headed to Allsops. We just humbly request for your hey. Yeah, there are some people that are guys. I think we need to end the live over here. We go to CBD because here looks dangerous. There are some people that are over there pointing at me. Yes, there are people that are over there pointing at me. I think we should end the live over here. Kindly support us so that we can head up to Nairobi CBD. Support us. Whatever that we just need is your Yes. Thank you so much for those people that are joining in. Thank you so much. It's a very good morning here in Krosnoland TV. It's a very good morning here in Krosnoland TV. Today on 7th July 2025. As we always do, we just give our audience update here in Krosnoland TV. We are also known as the king of updates on roads. Today, July 2025. People are wondering what is currently happening. We are just giving people updates on the current situation on roads. Remember whatever that happened last week, but 25th June 2025. There was a demonstration where property were destroyed. It's something that is very, very sad to see that people lost their properties. It's very sad. Here we always give people updates on the current situation on roads. This is the current situation on roads. The roads are very busy today on July 7th, 2025. They say that there's going to be a Sabasaba day, a demonstration of Sabasaba day. Us as media is just to show our audience the current situation on roads here in Thika Road. We have started with Thika Road. This is the current situation on roads. Just an update to give our viewers. As you can see, the roads are very busy. Things are flowing as normal. The roads are very busy today early in the morning. The current situation here in Thika Road. This is the current situation in Thika Road. The roads are very busy. Things are flowing as normal. Normally, yes, as you can see. For those people that are joining in, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are live. We are live. We are live. The current situation on roads. We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live today on 7th July 2025, Sabasaba Day. Our work as media is to just give the audience that are still at home, the audience that are traveling, just to know currently whatever that is happening here on roads. Are the roads flowing? What is currently happening? As you can see, I would just like you to see and judge for yourself the current situation here on roads. This is the current situation where things are flowing normally, but it's a very chilly morning. It's a very chilly morning. It's very cold here in Thika Road, and things are flowing as normal. As you can see, this is the current situation. Things are flowing as normal. The vehicles are going as normal. Yes, it's very amazing. Yeah, as you can see for yourself, this is the current situation. We are going to do this up to Nairobi CBD so that our audience can know whatever that is currently happening on the ground. For those people that have lost hope, to see for themselves. For those people that are afraid, just to see themselves what is currently happening. It was trending all over and is still trending right now on X that there is going to be a Sabasaba day. But we as Krishnolan TV, we always risk to show our audience the current situation on road so that they can judge for themselves. Today, Monday, 7th July 2025. Kindly guys, for us to maintain live, we highly request for your support. We highly request for your support through the number down there, which is 0700 92 9171, so that we can be live all through, all day, all time, and God will really bless you. This is the current situation here on roads. It's very cold. It's very cold. Anytime that you are getting out of the house, make sure that you have put on heavy clothes, because here it's very the vehicles are flowing as normal, not like last week but one where the vehicles weren't there. It means that everything is going back to normal. Any person that is coming out that protest, please make sure that you haven't destroyed someone's property. Kindly don't do that. It was very sad. Remember what happened here last month, July 2025, where properties were destroyed, business were vandalized. It's something that we are not happy about that. Everyone have a right to demonstrate, but not to destroy people property, which is very sad. People are really struggling outside here. If someone comes in and start destroying someone's property, it's bad. It's something that is very sad. We as Krishnolan TV, we are highly sorry for those people that lost their properties, and God will continue to double your blessing. If your property got lost, we are praying that God will continue blessing you and giving you times 10. That's what we are praying. We don't want someone's property to be destroyed. Our work is just to inform our audience whatever that is currently happening on the ground. This is the current situation on the ground. You can see vehicles are flowing as normal. Things are flowing as normal. The reason why we focus on road is to just to give audience whatever that is happening, so that audience can know that if you see many vehicles on the road, if you see the road are very busy, just know that things are normal. Those people that are afraid at home, those people that are still sleeping at home, can know that it's safe and everything is going as normal. Kindly, if you are new here, subscribe, click the notification button for you to never ever miss anything that we do here in our channel. It's just to give people the current.
He's got the highway in his blood. He was born to run, born to run.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Just need your support to maintain live through the number down there, which is 0700 92 91 71. And God, we really bless you. Highly request for your support. The roads are very busy. It means that things are flowing as normal. You see, if you compare the 25th of June and here 7th of July, things are normal. Here things are going as normal, as you can see. The current situation on road. This is the current situation. Let's go. We are heading to Safari Park. We are from TRM right now. We are heading to Safari Park today on the current situation on roads. Yes, yeah, fitting. You see, people are very busy. People are walking. If you are at home,
roughly about 150, 200 meters. Tear gas canister was lobbed and it has since gone down. There is no very minimal human activity from that particular point. But bottom line is that has happened. So as we wind up and move, because from this particular point we want to move and see whether, like I said, we can get to the other points of town and perhaps even try to get to Pangani, where the people from Thika Road are meeting yet another roadblock, and see where in town we can get to speak to a police command in case there is anyone who is in command who will be at the roadblocks, because again, not all officers are allowed to speak to the press, only gazetted officers. Few moments, that particular clip of the tear gas there that was lobbed, like I said, on Kenyatta Avenue, headed towards Integrity Center, the junction that goes to the Serena Hotel, like I said. And as you can see in the pictures there, we are not so sure why that particular tear gas was lobbed, because no gathering. However, perhaps we'll get to understand later why that happened. But we continue covering you, giving you this coverage from Nairobi CBD and its environs, telling you how it is on this 7th day of July 2025. The city is on a clear lockdown. Nothing is going on. And we have spoken about this before. We have spoken about the kind of economic loss that we are seeing by this happening. The businesses that are not opening. You can see workers who are getting to the office and they're being told, like we spoke earlier, to that gentleman who was told to go back home and work from home, despite a government directive from the CS of Public Service, Geoffrey Rocco, for civil servants to go to work. So really not clear. An ambulance there headed to one of the hospitals. Like I said, vehicles are finding it easy getting out of town, but very difficult getting into town. I have actually recorded using my phone a video of an ambulance trying to get into town and sent away. That I have, and I will be sharing a particular video to for us and our producers to broadcast it. Even ambulances are allowed to get out of the CBD, but not into the CBD, as I have captured, and I'll show you those pictures in a moment as I send it to our producers to just show you the state that is Nairobi City this particular morning.
Thank you. Thank you for that update. And also, by the way, you can follow live updates on our live blog. We have a live blog on Nation.Africa as Kenyans mark Sabasaba. Various reporters from Nation Media Group newsroom across the country. Like at 9:55 a.m., Mercy Koskei was reporting police patrolling in Nakuru City, and a video there. At 9:15 a.m., Stephen Munyiri says all businesses in Karatina, banks, shops and eateries, as well as transport in and out of Karatina town, have gone to a halt. Schools suspended learning as youth have barricaded the main Karatina-Nairobi highway. In Kisumu, Alex Odhiambo was reporting 9 minutes ago that business owners were beginning to open their shops along Ginga Odinga Street in Kisumu. In Kirinyaga, George Munene at 17 minutes ago was sending an update of protesters lighting bonfires as they protesters group any town in Kirinyaga County. So follow that live blog. You get up-to-the-minute updates of what's happening across the country from our Nation report.
Yeah, really good updates and coverage. That's going to need to be explained at some point. That was really strange. This year, maybe it was to Mariam is like, what explanation? They're just showing. It's reinforcing what has already been reinforced since midnight. Sounds good. And there was no crowd. I want to go to Professor Kibwana. It's coming. that pattern?
I think if you become an oppressor, it means initially you were never a change maker. Because if you're a change maker, it should be in your blood. And therefore, unless somebody at some point just gives up and says that I've worked so hard for the country, now I just want to work myself. And you see, therefore, in the mind of the people, incrementally, they become irrelevant. But I think there are people who have been very, very, very consistent. And even when, for example, like one point that I was trying to make earlier on was the people who do the heavy lifting in terms of seeking for change do not necessarily end up in the apex leadership. Because there are those who, from independence, have the money, they know how to do the politics in ways which are not straightforward, and therefore they tend to, come into ultimate power, of course, using negative ethnicity, access to government, money handouts, and all that kind of stuff. You see people, for example, like Orengo, even Anyang' Nyong'o, at some point they were trying to deviate from ethnic politics. And they got punished. And even myself, same story. When you try to chart out a truly reform path, and the people of your tribe are told that you're a betrayer of your tribe, and the tribal politics try to cut your political, career. And so when Muite tried to be a president, when Orengo tried to be a president, Mukaru Ng'ang'a, Mukangi, I think also Gathangu, I think, all of them, they get 0.0 something of the vote. Hardly 10,000 votes. So that, again, our people, especially in the past, have been held prisoners by the tribal, politics. And this retrogressive politics. And as a result, the more we change, the more we don't change. But now I think these young people, as you asked, look like a different group who really, are showing so much resilience to the extent that, and some of them are now trying to say, let's now do politics. Not just doing protests and so on. Yes, protests, yes, but then we are going to get into, MCA, MP. We want to do all that kind of stuff. And I think it's past the time when they were saying they are leaderless and so on. They have leaders, and even the state identifies these leaders and tries to get at them and neutralize others, buy others, do all sorts of things. So I'm just thinking that we are getting a crop which really is fighting for the third liberation. First liberation, independence. Second liberation, multi-party katiba. Third liberation, now the economic thing, the thing of rule of law, the thing of the constitution to be followed, and all that kind of thing. So as a constitutional lawyer, as somebody involved in constitutional history, I can see, that the possibility now of transcending, this negative ethnicity and so on, I can see it and I can feel it. And that's why Kenya is a very hard nut to crack in terms of getting people subdued. And I really wish that the government could adopt different strategy and realize that these young people, you will not defeat them by just terrorizing them. And I don't know, I keep on asking, praying, how shall we talk to each other? Because I think that is necessary, and let the young people be, let them, say their thing, and let them now even organize to come into leadership, because it is their time.
It truly is, Prof.
And just finally, just in terms of the KKK HRC debacle, where young people are sent to molest, women. And of course, one thought immediately of during the last demonstrations, girls being raped. So that is that like introduction to make women get afraid of these demonstrations. And also I thought of the mother of Koigi at Freedom Corner, when they really were saying that release our children and from detention without trial, and they were even, removing their clothes. And that's a curse. When in Africa, women, you put them to such a corner that they are now crying for their children whom they birthed in pain, then that's a curse. And I don't know who, praise and for what happened at Kenya Human Rights Commission. We need to do things different. And that's my prayer. That's my prayer. That's my prayer.
Thank you so much, Prof. And I agree with you. Just before we let you go, by the way, thank you for speaking to so many of the things that we need to speak to, and specifically to the weaponization of sexual violence against women. Just before you go, I'm trying to be a student of history, and I'm trying to see who is missing from the way the second liberation was done. We've heard from so many of our guests, tried to go back to history, and there was clear effort from many parties. Many parties, including, of course, academia, student leadership, young people. I'm trying to see who is missing right now from the wheel. I'm also seeing people who are fairly well off speaking to it. But let's get back to what's happening live at University, and then we'll get back to Prof.
Yes, Prof, I hope you heard Mariam's question. We'll come back to you in a moment. We understand that Ibrahim has made his way to IG Kanja. Yeah. Let's listen in and hear what they're saying.
He is with the Masangeli DIG.
Yeah.
And there was a directive by the CS Public Service to have civil servants come to the office. Is there a criteria on who is getting into the CBD and who's not getting in?
Everybody's getting into CBD. Everybody's going for duty as normal. No worries.
But that is not true. That is not what we are seeing.
What have you seen?
We have seen, myself and some of the colleagues that I've seen have been turned away on several roadblocks from Rironi, coming through Thika Road. Several roadblocks we've seen Kenyans being turned away. That's why I want to understand whether there was any criteria, sir.
But you've been here. You've been here. You've been here. You've not been turned away, and you'll not be turned away. Ours is just to urge everybody to keep peace and conformity within the rule of law.
All right. Thank you very much. Gilbert Masengeli there, the Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Administrative Police Service. Of course, he's accompanied by other senior police officers, amongst them Mr. Bungei, who is the Director of Operations at the National Police Service, and of course, several other officers who are working. I can see the GSU Commandant, who is also accompanying the DIG Masengeli, just to get the status of how it is in Nairobi. Of course, at the University Way roundabout as we speak is where all this is happening. DIG Gilbert Masengeli, the GSU commander, is also here, as well as the head of operations at the National Police Service, Mr. Bungei, taking or patrolling the city to understand what is happening. The DIG says that no one has been turned back, but of course that is not true from what we have seen. He says no Kenyan has been turned back, but again, like I said, that is not true. Mr. Bungei, there, the Director of Operations at the National Police Service, also had accompanied the DIG and the GSU Commandant. Like I said, this is the University Way roundabout. The senior police officers are now leaving. The senior police officers now leaving this particular point to still patrol the area and understand how Nairobi is. From what they are saying, no one has been turned back. But yes, the top senior police officers patrolling Nairobi this morning. Deputy Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli, in charge of the Administration Police Service. We have had the GSU Commandant as well around, as well as various other officers, and I think this is what is going on. From what they're saying, no one is being turned around or turned back to go home, but that is not what appears to be the case this particular morning.
I'm just wondering, which one? There's a party that is mad here. Is it us or is it them?
It must be you, Mariam.
It must be me.
Yeah.
I am the mad one.
Because Mariam, si umeingia
You're
town.
in town, aren't
Si
you?
uko studio. Sahi.
Mariam, are you in town?
As you're broadcasting.
Okay, I am the mad one.
Have you been turned away, Mariam?
I have been turned away.
You're in town,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Are you here?
Latif has learnt the ping pong. He's learnt how to sieve. Because he repeats it so well. He's like, but you're here.
I must be the mad person.
Oh, there we go. There's more images.
I must be the mad person.
Mm-hmm.
Every other person who has not been able to access the CBD must
Like
be
Professor Kivuda
mad.
Kibwana, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know in which country he lives. Professor, you were saying we were expecting you to be here in the studio.
And you're not
The
here.
DIG of police, he says nobody has been turned away. Why didn't you come, Prof?
As I tried to say early on, and I am smiling and I shouldn't be smiling because it's not a day for smiling.
Yeah.
I actually tried through two routes to get to Nation, Center, through Ngong Road, through Langata Road, and all in vain. And even if you say that you have national duty to do, it fell on ears that were not hearing. I don't want to say deaf ears. So and even as you reported earlier, if people have to go to to do emergency services like doctors and so on and so forth, and because actually what has happened is even if the young people don't get to CBD, they have effectively shut down CBD. And they are shutting down many towns just by saying they are going to demonstrate, and the state actually closing these towns, these businesses, these livelihoods, this everything. So that is why I keep on insisting that this is not really the way, and even historically and in other countries, this is not how you solve the issues, because these many young people, they are not about to blink. So who will blink first?
Right. Who will blink first, Prof? Just before we went on live with Ibrahim, I had asked who is missing from this movement right now, because just from history, again, trying to go through from listening to so many of our guests, Wafula Buke, Gitobu Manyara, Cyprian, we've learned that it was a cohesive effort with many parts, student leaders, people from academia, the general public as well had a lot of dissent, religious leaders, absolutely, political leaders, and then people who would be considered affluent at that time also chipping in and putting in, their contribution to the second revolution. From what you see right now, who's missing from this table?
I think in those days, also the trade unions, were again, to some extent, part of it, not fully, because KANU had incorporated the trade unions into its belly. They tried even to do that, the same for Maendeleo ya Wanawake. And they were trying to do that for Law Society, but Law Society said no way, because there was an idea to get every organization to be within KANU, but trade unions currently, are missing, and like NAT is such an important trade union, the teachers, because that's one of the strongest trade unions all over the country because they are everywhere. Then the faith sector almost was missing this time around because of young people thinking that it had fraternized too much with the system.
Yes.
But of late, we have begun to add very strong voices, because historically, during those times of Njoya, Ndingi Mwana, Nzeki, Okulu, Gitari, Muge, all those people of faith and people of conscience, they were able to say that the system cannot continue, as it was as it was doing then. And so the faith sector has begun to really come into the scene and to offer advice, to be a group of conscience, to say that this is not correct. And maybe as that happens and as the young people begin to have confidence in them, that's one group which is pivotal in terms of our future conversation. But I hope the future is not too futuristic, is not too far. there is the political opposition is an interesting aspect, because sometimes they're also doing their work out there and they're doing a lot of politics. But when it comes to like bad finance bills, when it comes to parliament being captured, how come the political parties in the opposition don't tell their members, you can't be captured, you must be the voice of the people in parliament? So that is left for few people, like if it's Obtata, if it's Onyonka, if there are few people in parliament. So we need to hold the political opposition accountable, so that what they are trying to do in terms of their campaigns out there, there is that campaign in parliament, so that there isn't a duplicity. It's not like two-sidedness, and to be more in to really get that voice in that very important organ. Because I remember in the 1997, even within parliament, there was Akina Njeru, Ndwiga, I think. There were people who were saying, no reforms, no parliament during budget day within parliament, so that within parliament itself, you had that agitation. I think there's a new actor who is quite critical, and this is the diaspora. The diaspora now was not as critical in the 90s, but now they are coming out very strongly. And so the middle class is another very critical group, because as we conclude in 1997, actually, when now the movement for reforms became very robust, it was when you saw people wearing Nike shoes, wearing those Adidas and so on, coming into the demonstration. Then you knew this middle class, these are people who are saying, like the lawyers, there is no more law to practice. Therefore, we have to come and rescue our country. And, business people, that's another group. Because sometimes the business people play safe because they want to be in good stead with the government. Yeah. But then if the economy goes to the dogs, then even business is not easy. And so, again, that voice somehow has to come through. And of course, sometimes it comes through, in private spaces. But we need together, we need together to rescue, our country. And even in the interview of the police person, sometimes even the police themselves, they do some things not because they really want to, but it's an order and so on. And one also should not completely demonize, all the police. I think that would not necessarily, be very fair, but they also need to draw into their conscience and do utumishi kwa wote, not to do some of the crazy things that are happening.
Okay. Thanks, Prof. And you're absolutely right. I wonder about trade unions right now, because Francis Atwoli has been very much, a friend of the administration. It does sit at the top of the trade unions of Kenya, but you're right, we do have new players, which is the middle class, young people, the diaspora,
corporates, business people.
Yes, corporates. I think then the unification needs to be more solid and more intentional for sure.
But a huge thank you to Professor Kivuda Kibwana for remaining measured, and I think really navigating this conversation with us on such a day and in such a time. I think there couldn't have been a better voice of reason than over the last few hours.
There's something the Prof said, that for a long time, those who push and fight for change are not the ones who end up getting into the seats of power. But now he's noticing a different generation. And I just sit back and I ask myself, really?
You think they might be subject to the same ills?
Yeah. A name like Professor Kivuda Kibwana is not even featuring anywhere as a possible leader in any way, shape or form of moving forward. Has been there.
He has been
tried, tested, and all. And as we're looking at, so which older people can work with the younger people and all, and so on and so forth, he's been doing it. He's teaching at the university. He participates in all these X spaces all the time.
True.
He served for 10 years as a governor. His record there, many people praised it. He made some mistakes as given, and also he made very, very many things that are gainful, that will always be studied when it comes to devolution and citizen-centric leadership.
Absolutely.
But do you hear that name?
No.
Not as loudly.
I'll be honest and I'll say this because as a person who has been a proponent of and a fan of Professor Kibwana for a long time, I think it was not the right time when he was running, when he was, transiting from governor for a lot of people. I may have been there like, yeah, 100%, let's go, Prof. It might not have been the right time. Is now the right time? I definitely think so. In whatever capacity he is able to, and this is part of it, even the conversation he's had with us is part of the continuing work. I think it was just not the right time for a lot of people. There was a lot of blindness going on. I don't think the same can be said now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Now, we were told that people were able to enter town, that everything that we've said for the last 4 hours is false information. The fact that we're misinforming the public by saying that they shouldn't make their way to the CBD. We apologize for that. Because from what we understand, people have, in fact, been allowed to come into town. Isn't that right, Mariam and Eric?
Yeah, so Ibrahim Karanja, a short while ago, was able to speak to Gilbert Masengeli, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, who was along Uhuru Highway inspecting the police operation there. And when Ibrahim caught up with him, asked him the question about access into CBD, here's what he answered.
Not true. That is not what we are seeing.
What have you seen?
We have seen, myself and some of the colleagues that I've seen have been turned away on several roadblocks from Rironi, coming through Thika Road. Several roadblocks we've seen Kenyans being turned away. That's why I want to understand whether there was any criteria, sir.
But you've been here. You've been here. You've been here. You've not been turned away. And you're not away. Ours is just to urge everybody to keep peace and confine within the rule of law.
All right. Thank you very much. Gilbert Masengeli there, the Deputy Inspector General in charge of the administrative service. Of course, he's accompanied by other senior police officers, amongst them Mr. Bungei, who is the Director of Operations at the National Police Service, and of course, several other officers who are working. I can see the GSU Commandant, who is also accompanying the DIG Masengeli just to get the status of how it is in Nairobi. Of course, at the University Way roundabout as we speak is where all this is happening. DIG Gilbert Masengeli, the GSU commander.
The DIG commander.
Some people will start calling him Deputy Gaslighter in general.
You know what? I'll take it.
I like that.
Yeah,
Deputy.
because there was an opportunity to advise Kenyans who have not been able to make their way to open their businesses, take their kids to school. We've seen images, non-stop calls. There was an opportunity to explain why, and an even greater opportunity to say, if you are facing this issue, let us know on this line.
Yeah.
So what a wasted opportunity. And, kudos to Ibrahim for trying to get some information from him. What a wasted opportunity on a day when people have been fully disrupted. Would have been really helpful to say, if this is happening to you, this is why. And if should you face any of these challenges, Martin, whose baby is in ICU, people like Martin, whose doctors have been barred from entering, there should have been something along the lines of, make sure that you use this route and make sure you call us should this persist. Wasted opportunity. Unfortunately, to Ibrahim's point, it is not true. That is a lie, following the lie that was yesterday from CS Roku saying that today is a normal working day. We cannot continue to perpetuate these lies, and leadership cannot lie all the time. So this is a difficult moment, because how do we move from here?
And I completely agree with you. This is the missed opportunity. Communication is key, right? And even before he left there, the police spokesperson, who you'd assume is in charge of communication at the National Police Service, would have sat down with the senior officers and said, so this is how we communicate this particular issue. Maybe he did. Maybe because the officers he's briefing are his seniors, just decided to disregard him and say, mambo yako gani. But it's a missed opportunity for Gilbert Masengeli to actually come out and say, this is what we are doing. We do not want public service vehicles to come into town for reason A, B, C, D. Personal vehicles, private motorists, you're coming into town, this is what we are using to get you into town. And the reason is this, and the other. And basically just make it work. But just saying, no, nobody has been denied entry into town. And you hear?
Guys,
do you hear yourself?
The two of you are coming from such a lovely place, which is an assumption of intention to communicate, intention to...
We're dreaming big.
We're dreaming very, 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 very big. I'm only laughing at this point because, again, I've said perhaps the most refreshing thing, and it's unfortunate that has happened over the last year, is just the colors are in full glare. Like the true colors are in full glare of this administration. We're not joking. We're not hiding. Nothing is happening of that sort. If the DIG can come and just lie straight to our faces, as we have been watching people get turned away from the CBD since 5, 6 a.m., then there was never any intention to communicate. Like, it's okay. We have understood who we're dealing with. Let's move accordingly.
You are at the point of acceptance. Tuko bado kwa denial.
Tuko kwa denial or hapo kwa anger,
yeah.
Somewhere among...
Mimi niko kwa point, yeah. This is what should happen. All right? And this is a lesson to learn. This is a lesson you pick from here. Masengeli, the next time you appear, this is what you should have done, and this is what, even us as citizens, what is it that we should be getting?
He knows what he should have
as we
done.
get angry, so we are getting angry, what should we have heard from him? Right? And this is what I'm saying, this is how he should have handled it. This is what you expect from such a person. The other one who's sitting in his office watching this and will be a future DIG or a future, spokesperson or a future IG of police. This is what will be expected of you. If you're a young person today and you have not joined the police service, maybe you'll join the police service. Maybe you'll rise to become. This is how you communicate.
Syllabus imechoma. Urban Craft TV saying Maria Moshe.
Amejam.
She was blocked. She literally came late on the show because she was trying to make it here on time. It's personal, actually, for you.
It's not even, like, at this point, I'm not even angry. I am just...
It is what it is.
At a point of acceptance. So for me, it's not... Nothing is surprising anymore. And I think it's a good thing that we are no longer doing that subliminal dictatorship. We are just like, okay, all colors out, true colors out, everything is on the table as is. I think it allows us to then move accordingly.
Actually, that's the question I was going to ask you, just as we continue to see the images and get towards the end of fixing the nation. When you're at a point of acceptance, Mariam, how does it change how you agitate for change? What does it change? Does it change?
Not really. It just means consistency then needs to be the key, right? Consistency, strategy, learning from the past, being rooted in the Constitution and in the law. Those things become more and more important.
Yeah. Just as you continue also, that image there on your screens is a woman who was turned away. We're going to rewind it and show that she... this is earlier on at the CBD, you could tell, just trying to reason with the police and perhaps saying, this is my office, I'm trying to get to work, but she was turned away. Credits to her, she tried to push back, probably had something very important to do today, as most people did, held her head up high and left. And walked away. She is an example of thousands who have faced the same thing today. Again, that was from earlier on, and she was probably told, go and speak to them, right? This is kind of the back and forth. And here she is getting another instruction, obviously visibly frustrated. And you'll see her once again just walking away because she was probably told, Nenda waongeleshe hao, they'll give you another route. Same thing, a gentleman there on the screen saying the same thing.
Are you sure we're seeing the correct things, guys?
Oh, yeah. Now you see.
Maybe it's a shared hallucination we're all having.
It's an alternative truth.
Yeah, it's an alternative truth.
Yeah,
but I was saying, I think the only thing to do is, again, to be rooted in the things that they are not. It's the rule of law, it's constitutionalism, it's having some values and some ethics underneath all of that that we're operating from. Yeah, that's the only way.
And it's a majority of people are operating from there.
And to consistently do so, yeah.
A lot of people are operating from there, and I think that's what's causing the nervousness above, is that a lot of people are back-rooted in the Constitution and the law. Ngong Road, it's like a holiday that, if ever there was one. Images from earlier, we are showing you images from earlier on. Over the last few hours, we've continued to speak to our reporters and to a lot of you fixers, telling us about your own situation, trying to get to the workplace, or Martin's case, trying to get healthcare for his newborn who is in ICU. All of you have shared very similar sentiments. You're either trying to reach essential workers or you're turned away. We had a gentleman who had to speak to his boss but said he's lost wages for that day. yesterday. And there's a lot of other places that we can see. Mombasa, we also saw Mombasa earlier, where it's sort of business as usual, right?
So, for instance, if you follow our live blog on Nation Africa, and you'll see all the updates live as of 9:45 a.m. in Kisii. Police are deployed to the Kisii town CBD. Others patrolling other streets. Earlier in Narok, you can see there's heavy police presence in Narok town. 2 minutes ago, youth were lighting bonfires at Ngurubani town in Kirinyaga County, according to our reporter George Munene, who's there. In Lamu, Kalume Kazungu says the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki is expected in Lamu, and residents are flocking to Mkunguni Square in Lamu Old Town, where the DP and other top leaders are expected to preside over youth and women empowerment event. So Lamu, things are moving on smoothly. No demonstrations, no protest there, no closure of businesses as a result of protest. Maybe closure of business to go to this particular event.
And in Kisumu, I understand it's business.
In Kisumu as well, business as usual. Karatina Nairobi Highway, Stephen Munyeri, our NMG reporter, has even sent an image of demonstrators lighting bonfires. Minutes ago, passengers whose 10 p.m. train to Nairobi was cancelled yesterday, traveling on the 10 a.m. train today. Kevin Odit and NMG had sent that. So if you go to our blog, Nation.Africa, you will see those up-to-the-minute updates from across the country from our reporters.
Right. Wow. Time to wrap up the show now, but it's been
a show. Padlocks. Look, just before you wind up, Mariam, that was again earlier on in CBD.
People have closed their businesses.
People have closed their businesses. There's essentially no hope. Did they even manage to get to their businesses, or had they closed overnight? Well,
this is probably from yesterday, and of course the reinforcement is extra because of what we've seen the last time, what we saw on June 25th, the amount of property that was destroyed, the amount of looting that happened. So people have taken extra precautions. This is, you can see there's this layer, there's that gate, there's the one beneath, and there's still a third one. You see the grey peeking through.
In as many places
as possible.
Let me ask you now, let's talk. The person whose business we've just seen, you know that they've done that. When they're sitting back at home this morning and they're seeing that there is limited access into the CBD, do you think they're happy or do you think they're sad?
I think they're frustrated.
They're frustrated?
They're at home. They were not coming to work anyway, right? Because Sabasaba, Mandamano, and so on and so forth. Let's just say, just like we saw on the 25th, many did not come to open their businesses.
So you think there's a sense of relief?
But then today, they're seeing, I'm at home, and I'm watching and I'm seeing we actually don't have people in the CBD.
Right. I think for sure a sense of relief that they don't have to worry about their businesses. Not because, again, of peaceful people who come out to either commemorate Sabasaba or June 25th, but because of what we've seen happen in the past. So I think it is a sense of relief for them. I do wonder, in an ideal world, these two things should be able to happen in tandem, right? I open my business, a protest comes, people come, sit, walk, march, do whatever, present petition, go home. They come, they buy a bottle of water, a snack from me, or they come and decide to frequent my business, or they browse the store and they go home. That is a very, very ideal world.
And it still happens in many parts of the world. Eric, I think to Mariam's point, yes, there's relief. I think there's frustration, like I still have lost business for the day.
Yep.
But and we've said it before and I'll say it again, I think the most unfortunate thing that's coming out of all this is the gaslighting of people who just want better for the country because of something that was co-opted and infiltrated. You will continue to see a loss of confidence in things like peaceful demonstrations and protests. This is the work that today has managed to do, is to discourage people from coming out. Some feedback on YouTube as we just continue our conversation today, 35th anniversary of Sabasaba, what was meant to be a day to commemorate, that particular very important day, which, as we heard Professor Kivutha Kibwana and a lot of the guests we've had, which led to the repeal of Section 2A and years later birthed the Constitution, which was promulgated in 2010. And so that was what today was supposed to be. Certainly, a lot of people wanted to commemorate it in one way or another, whether it was peaceful protest, whether it was mothers speaking to the grief that they have for the children who are losing their lives. But today, instead, many who tried to move in different parts of the country, largely around Nairobi and its environs, the CBD and its environs, were instead told to turn back. Businesses, in fact, Ibrahim stated well, Nairobi is at a standstill. People are stuck. Many have chosen to go back home because they know that they can't navigate their way through today. So that's what today was supposed to be. I'm glad we were able to commemorate it in some way with Wahoo and Professor Kivutha Kibwana. It should have been more. We should have spent more time talking about that. But on YouTube, we have a lot of, right before we speak to that, Kibuye Market in Kisumu. So Kisumu is just moving along.
Yeah.
Seems very peaceful. Seems like business as usual. It seems like folks are going about their day. Markets are open. People are just moving about. Kisumu, Mombasa, we'll just put a pin for some of the way things have managed to happen in the sense that citizens are just able to largely move around business as usual, because it's not to say that this day also wasn't important for the people of Kisumu, but what is it that made them say we're going to move along business as usual? We're seeing some images, perhaps there were others, of police presence in certain areas, but not in Kibuye Market, which we're being shown on our screens right now on Fixing the Nation. This again is from earlier on in the day at Kibuye Market in Kisumu.
Right. So much.
You were checking the feedback on.
Yeah, I'll read some. I think Mariam has also got into some, but Khalif Karim, this is the first one I've landed on. Siati tunajipea nini. I'm in love with NTV. We'll take it. Thanks. Bring footage from Kisii. Okay, I think you just read an update from Kisii, Eric, but we haven't seen. What else has caught your eye, Mariam and Eric?
Irungu says, it's ironical when the Honorable Ruku asks us to be in our places of work and the police barricade roads into the city. I'm ready to write a show cause letter when asked to. Maureen in Githunguri says people have been told not to come. Let me get that right. People have been told to close down their shops and go home. By who? Maureen, please tell us who is asking people to close down their shops and to go home. There's also someone saying that this is Wenzel Dashington says, not only is this a restriction on the constitutionally guaranteed freedom of movement, but it's also economic sabotage, and someone must be made to answer for this. You're right, it's economic sabotage as well, because so many people, again, the CBD is not the only place that we access via these roads. Not only economic, but sabotage on so many other levels. We've talked to Martin, who is trying to have his child seen by a pediatrician, and that pediatrician cannot get to the hospital. That's one case of many. We've talked of people who are trying to get into Nairobi because they are foreigners traveling, and suddenly you're taken out of a bus, you find yourself on a boda boda, you're being told to find the southern bypass. Can you imagine in a foreign country at 4 a.m. at night?
And you have to trust that that person has your best interest, that the border will take you where. By the way, if you're wondering, just before Mariam and Latif continue, it's 6 minutes past 10. This is not Fixing the Nation 2.0, although that could be a thing. We're extending our broadcast.
Fixing the Nation Extended.
Fixing the Nation Extended. That was good. As we wait to welcome some of our incredible hosts to take over.
Lofty Matambo and Freedom Walker will be joining us shortly. We are seeing footage from Mombasa earlier. So remember what the Kenya Railways had said that yesterday. This is live, actually. This is happening now. This is coming live from our crew in Mombasa right now, that the train has departed. Remember, they had announced that it will be departing at 10 a.m. this morning. So the train has departed, and what Kenya Railways had announced is those that were supposed to travel with a late night 10 p.m. flight were to report at the Miritini Stadium at 8 a.m. this morning. We're assuming that some of them were able to report, and they boarded the train, and now the train has departed. This is live from the Miritini station, SGR's terminus in Mombasa. The train is now headed towards Nairobi. I wonder how many of those that were intending to travel last night have managed to get to the train this morning.
Great
and are
question.
now on their way here. And I wonder how many people have been disrupted, whose schedules have completely been thrown off. You're probably planning to travel. You were not even participating in Mandamano of any sort. Or maybe, you just wanted to travel. You traveled from far from Mombasa, timed your way so that you get to Miritini at maybe at about 8 p.m. so that then you can board the train and travel overnight and get onto your business in Nairobi today. Maybe connecting onto other vehicles that are going outside of Nairobi. Those that have traveled from far, wamelala wapi? Where did they spend it?
We hope we can get some of them, right, in the course of the week, just to speak about what did you do that night. If you didn't have a relative or friend or any other option, how were you able to make your way back? But you're right, a lot of people were just caught off guard, not because they wanted to participate in anything, but because they already had plans. Right. Also, the timing of the hitch being fixed it's mad.
I'll also say this, even if they did want to participate in protest, their freedom of movement being curtailed is absolutely unacceptable, right? And you're right, we have inconvenienced so many people. Who covers the cost of you spending a night somewhere in a lodging? How many people slept in the train station because they just did not have any other option? People could be seeking medical treatment.
They're not being allowed access into the train station.
Oh, so they didn't even make it in?
No.
Okay.
Get to the gate and you turn back.
To figure out where you'll go.
Yeah.
That already speaks to the fact that there was no hitch, because how many, I've never heard of you not being allowed to enter a station, whether it's a train station, an airport, a bus station, if there are technical hitches, right? People sleep at airports all the time when their flights are delayed or when they are moved even to the next day. That's why airport hotels exist. Train stations, same story. You will sit on that bench until you find an alternative, but not being allowed into the station.
No, it's heartbreaking. In just a few moments, we'll cross over to Frida Mwaka. She's live and ready to take us through the next few hours of coverage on this day. I know, Mariam, you're reading some feedback, Latif as well, just before we wind up.
Right. These guys were to Beba Ufala. This is the new generation. They delayed the train to reduce the people to town. It's a DIG Masengelais. That's the Quavas. Nelson Emmanuel says, Valley Road without a job card, it's a no-go zone. For some of us, we don't have a job card. Right. So that means to access Valley Road, you have to show a job card. And the hilarious thing is you will show the job card at Valley Road, but you will get to Kenyatta Avenue. That's the easiest point of access. And then there's nowhere else to go because you will be turned back. Evans says, same here, along River Road, Luthuli, there's no one today. After what happened last time, some tried to break in, no need to risk. So saying that businesses around River Road and Luthuli have absolutely no one today.
And that's the same as Nanyuki, which you can see on your screens. Businesses from earlier completely closed. Nanyuki just is pretty much a ghost town at this moment. These are images, if you're watching us on NTV, from earlier on in Nanyuki. You can see shops and all of these other businesses have kept their doors shut just in anticipation of what perhaps concerns around the safety of their own businesses. But that is a look at Nanyuki from earlier.
I've just clocked something. The SGR terminates at Syokimau. That's where the terminus is. But Syokimau is not the end destination. Right?
Yeah. I don't know whether they're going now to provide that other service that links from Syokimau to railway station. Because usually when the train arrives, there's usually that other service of the
other train,
the meter gauge railway. That then you hop onto that one, it brings you to railway station in the CBD.
Now at railway station, will you find a matatu to take you?
Sasa kutoka hapo
ujipange,
utafute vile utaenda kwa matatu yako.
If indeed they do take them to railway station.
Yeah.
Okay.
But probably by the time they're arriving here at 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m.
things would have opened up. Maybe.
Police would have changed their minds.
Maybe. They had not said, their minds had already been changed from the beginning. Remember, we have lied for 4 hours. Anybody can come in. That is sarcasm, guys. We've been honest here. From 6 a.m. Mariam is like, rewind.
No, it's because some people don't get sarcasm.
Yes,
so
that's
like,
true.
Let them not.
Yeah.
Let them. Yeah,
In a nutshell, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. actually, to 10:12, we have shown you live pictures. We continue to from different parts of the country, but unfortunately, the police service was denying the fact that people have been turned away from trying to access the CBD. A story that we will no doubt continue to follow for you. Wherever you are, I just hope you're staying safe and continuing to commemorate Sabasaba in whichever way. It is an important day. You're home, you're frustrated, I know you've been turned back. Find some time to just read about it because it's part of the journey that we're going through. It's part of the wilderness season that we're in, if you will. But some of it started there. The roots of where we are started in Sabasaba. Even before, but nothing as major historically, I'd like to say, since that day. So please read about it.
Maybe the fight for independence.
I was going to say the fight for independence. I'm now very jaded, but you're right. We're here now because of the fight for independence, and then Sabasaba, and then of course June 25th, 2024. So read about it, talk to your friends, family, validate this day for all that it is, in spite of everything that's happened in the country this morning.
Indeed, and you can follow the live updates, remember, on our live blog, Nation.Africa. You'll find the live blog on what's happening across the country. Various of our reporters across the country are just sending in their updates. In Kakamega, business as usual, on Sabasaba's 35th commemoration, and there's a photo here by Isaac Wale, which is just showing Kakamega, but there is just busy. Vehicles opening, shops appear to be open. People are walking up and down. In Kitale, business in Kitale town, including Ketia supermarket, remained closed for fear of looting. There were reduced activities in the CBD. However, there are no demonstrations in the town. This is as of about 5 minutes ago, 10 a.m. A photo by Evans Joala has been sent there. David Muchui says businesses in Makutano Meru remain closed. Some restaurants and supermarkets have reinforced their doors. So in Makutano in Meru, because of the experience they had on the 25th of June, they have closed their businesses. Nakuru, there's a bit of activity, but there's heavy police deployment within the Nakuru town. Police have been deployed in Kisii town CBD. Others are patrolling other streets of Kisii town. So from Kisii, there's heavy police presence. Some businesses have opened, some have closed. There's a lot of activity that's going on. We have seen that in Lamu, the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki, and other top leaders are expected to be presiding over a youth and women empowerment event. And so residents are flocking to Mkunguni Square in Lamu Old Town for that event. Otherwise, business as usual.
Well, otherwise, yeah. Again, I'm just shocked at the fact that the SGR. Anyway, we should have seen this coming. The fact that the delays with the SGR happened. Very conveniently timed.
I don't get the delay. I don't understand.
There was allegations that a lot of young people were in Mombasa for Summer Tides Festival, had a good time, were coming back with yesterday's SGR, and some of them did say that they were told, hamwendi mandamano.
All right. Yeah. At most, how many people are those? They'll be arriving in Nairobi at 3 a.m.
Yes.
3 a.m. is when the town was barricaded.
Right. So, I just don't get the logic.
Do we get any of the logic that has happened today? Logic, chui. Not quite. But
Kichuna Frida Mwaka ako tayari hapa kutujuza yanayojiri. Hii leo ni siku ya Kiswahili duniani.
Naam.
Na najua ako na mambo mengi sana ya kutuambia. Kichuna, hujambo?
Sina neno jamani, mko vipi? Wana fixing the nation?
Tuko sawa Frida.
Tunajaribu Frida.
Tunajaribu. Sasa ningependa muimalizie kwa lugha ya Kiswahili.
Kila mmoja fixing hapa.
Tumalize kwa lugha ya Kiswahili.
Hiyo kazi tumempatia Janet.
Jamani.
Atufungie.
Mwakilishi wetu.
I'll keep it small. Tuko salama, shukran. Shortest sentence.
Malizie kipindi. Waage kwa heri, mwambie kesho tutakuwa hapa.
Asanteni sana kwa kutazama Fixing the Nation. Nami Janet Mbogwa, Mariam Bisha na Eric Latif. Asanteni. Kwa herini. God bless you. Over to you, Frida.
In Kenya, public procurement powers nearly a third of all government spending. But for too long, delays, red tape, and corruption slowed our progress. Now, the game has changed. Introducing the Electronic Government Procurement System, EGP, a digital-first platform that makes public procurement faster, fairer, and fully transparent. Suppliers bid from anywhere. Citizens track every shilling spent. No more paper, no more guesswork. EGP is empowering SMEs, youth, women, and all Kenyans to take part in building our nation. Join the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, John Mbadi, and the technical team this Tuesday, 8th July 2025 from 7 a.m. on Fixing the Nation, as they unpack how EGP will transform public procurement for good.
Turn it up, lift him up, and let the spirit roam.
Your favorite gospel show is now renewed, refreshed, and uplifting. From timeless classics to today's Christian hits, we are bringing the praise, the power, and the presence of God right to you.
Praise Break, weekdays 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Only on Nation FM. Your voice, your vibe.
My name is Dr. Esther Zaramuria, the Principal Secretary, State Department for TVET in the Ministry of Education, and I am a proud sponsor of Skill Up 2025, which is happening on the 15th to the 16th of July this year at the KICC under the theme Youth Empowerment Through AI and Digital Skills. We are part of this initiative because we believe in building a future-ready generation through digital transformation and inclusive opportunities. Come engage with us and discover how we are helping empower Kenya's youth for suitable success.
Imagine you have to come up with another plan. Jumebakisha tu kidogo tu Tracy anikujie.
Na shida ni kwa nyumba mnapenda tu kunitukana na mnani accuse bure.
Niache! Utajua mimi babako na ukitaka tuendelee pamoja lazima utaniheshimu.
After everything Diana amesema, you still want to play dumb?
I just care about you.
Spare me the lies.
I think I'm getting attached to her.
The future of talent is calling. Are you ready to answer? Whether you're in HR, recruitment, or a company on the rise, your next great hire is closer than you think. On July 8th, 2025, join the movers and shapers at the Nation Huawei Leap Job Fair at the University of Nairobi. Meet brilliant minds, discover bold ideas, recruit talent that transforms your business. This is more than a job fair. It's a gateway to growth and opportunity. Nation Huawei Leap Job Fair. Unlocking potential and building connections.
Jina langu ni Gilbert Mugire, mimi ndio mhariri msimamizi wa Taifa Leo. Katika Kenya nzima, mbali na Tanzania labda, shirika pekee ambalo lina gazeti la Kiswahili, na hilo ambalo limesaidia katika makuzi ya hii lugha ambayo wengi wanaipenda. Kuna mengi ambayo tumewapangia, nadhani watajionea hiyo siku, kwa sababu kama ilivyo, na hii ni hafla ambayo tumekuwa tukijiandaa kwa karibu miaka 4 sasa, na kwa kweli Kiswahili ni tamu sana.
Unaona
siondoki.
Uondoke.
Nipe nikupe, uliza nikujibu.
Mimi naweza kukufanya one time president.
Vile Rigi anafanya hilo KK sioni kibaki.
Ya ndani paruanja.
Kwa sababu ya hypocrisy, unafikiri mimi ni mbaya, nimemwajiri bibi yake hapo kwa kabineti.
Talaka za wekwa wazi.
William Ruto has destroyed the Kenyan health system.
Ndoa mpya kutangazwa kazi.
Wakati wewe mwenyewe story zako za kuendelesha taifa lako ni kuhusu wewe mwenyewe.
Na wewe mwenyewe ukiulizwa wasemaje?
Tunaenda kuendi sawa sawa. Kweli Mswahili alisema kidole kimoja kivunji.
Ni jukwaa lako la maswala ibuka, dira ya siasa, uongozi wa taifa na kanda. Mduara kila Alhamisi saa 1 jioni na Frederick Mwitiriri na Lofty Matambo.
For any company, you need to have growth through diversification. And, you know, we knew all along that Del Monte Kenya cannot just be a pineapple company. As the years went on, we added a can making facility. Recently, the last few years, we started growing avocados. We started growing mangoes. And we're looking at, you know, what other crops we can do in the space and the land that we have. Sustainability in farming practices is going to be incredibly important for us. So we've already done a huge amount of work in sustainability in terms of water resources.
Our relationships are not working.
Femicide. Ilikuwa tu vitu zinafanyika, mnanyamaza, zinafunikiwa.
Nobody deserves to be killed in the name of relationships that are voluntary. If you don't like me, just leave me alone.
Sisi kama wanaume pia kuna vile tunakuwa affected, but tunanyamazia juu machozi yetu ni ya ndani.
Today I feel like we are lifting the lid. We are lifting the shame. We are lifting the conspiracy of silence that men can actually talk.
Marriage is a journey.
Whoever can annoy you, they can control you. Don't allow a woman to annoy you. If she starts pulling you down, my brother, just walk out.
Tired of endless scrolling? Say goodbye to the chaos. Introducing the all-new Business Daily website. Experience seamless navigation. Immerse yourself in a world of more videos and more podcasts. Discover more with our enhanced home pages. Engage like never before with our interactive tools. Join us and elevate your reading experience today. Business Daily. More possibilities.
Makofi ya the world champion baby. Na hii ni makofi ya Morphix, which absorbs the liquid 3 times faster na haiwezi leak even in 50 different movements. Renewed Morphix, ultimate quality.
In Kenya, public procurement powers nearly a third of all government spending. But for too long, delays, red tape, and corruption slowed our progress. Now, the game has changed. Introducing the Electronic Government Procurement System, EGP, a digital-first platform that makes public procurement faster, fairer, and fully transparent. Suppliers bid from anywhere. Citizens track every shilling spent. No more paper, no more guesswork. EGP is empowering SMEs, youth, women, and all Kenyans to take part in building our nation. Join the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury John Mbadi, and the technical team this Tuesday, 8th July 2025 from 7 a.m. on Fixing the Nation, as they unpack how EGP will transform public procurement for good.
Kenya ni nchi yenye siasa kali tangu majira ya uhuru.
Tukiunganisha NDP na KANU, tayari tulishinda uchaguzi ambao inakuja.
Wenyewe mtajionea serikali tofauti. Na mimi namuombea Rais Moi maisha marefu
aende Baringo.
Moi aende peacefully, aache nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Mambo mengi kusema Moi must go, hivyo siku tutasema Moi must come. One day.
We're bringing you the hottest show in town.
Then no fit touch my